Mr. Підгорний, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We continue with our weekly press briefings regarding the Russia-Ukraine military conflict in eastern Ukraine and Crimea. Let me give you a short update about the events that took place between September 12th and 18th last week. The number of ceasefire violations last week committed by the Russia-backed militants was fluctuating between 18th on Sunday, September 18th, and 56 on Tuesday, the 14th. The low number of ceasefire violations were registered at the beginning and in the end of the week, while peaking on Tuesday and Wednesday. It is worth mentioning that on Saturday, September 17th, the complete ceasefire was observed in the Luhansk region. The rest of the conflict zone was marked by ceasefire violations. Russian proxies largely used small arms and mortars, while on Tuesday and Wednesday they opened fire from armored vehicles, battle tanks, and heavy weaponry banned by Minsk agreements. As you can see, the Russia-backed militants violated ceasefire most frequently in the Donetsk sector. This was the only area where Ukrainian troops came under enemy fire from heavy artillery in the whole week. May we have another slide? Thank you. On September 14th, the militants fired 666 rounds from heavy weapons, both mortars and artillery, at Ukrainian positions near Avdiivka. More shellings were registered in the area of Pisky village and Zaitseve, which is close to Horlivka. Furthermore, militants frequently used infantry fighting vehicles and mortars, firing over 100 shells in Mariupol sector. The vast majority of ceasefire violations took place in the following areas: the neighboring villages of Novozvanivka and Novo-Alexandrivka in Luhansk sector, the greater area around the Donetsk airport, including Avdiivka and Pisky, together with the village of Luhanske, and the perimeter of Horlivka in the Donetsk sector, Mariinka and Shirokino in Mariupol sector. 5 Ukrainian servicemen were killed and 29 wounded last week. This includes 1 killed and 7 wounded by booby traps and improvised explosive devices. It also includes casualties of the tragic incident near Artem village, Luhansk region, on September 12th. 2 soldiers were killed and 5 were wounded as a result of a gunfire. 1 Ukrainian soldier went missing, but was found alive shortly afterward. Currently, there is an investigation on the nature of the incident. Our thoughts and prayers go to the families and friends and colleagues of Ukrainian heroes who had suffered, who had sacrificed their lives for their country. Yesterday, 2 Ukrainian citizens, Volodymyr Zhemchugov and Yuri Suprun, finally returned from the war zone where they were held captives by the militants. Zhemchugov was raised in the city of Krasny Luch, currently occupied by Russian regulars and its proxies. He was captured in November of 2015 when he suffered severe wounds due to mine explosion. Zhemchugov lost 2 limbs and spent over 11 months in captivity. Yet he refused to give up and came home as a hero the country is proud of. Another former captive is Yuri Suprun, employee of the United Nations office in Ukraine. The fact that Russia-backed militants abducted the UN employee confirms once again their brazen violation of the international law. President Petro Poroshenko met with released Ukrainians. His message was loud and clear: Ukraine never abandons its citizens. The government fights for every Ukrainian and ultimately will free every citizen who is still captive on the territory and the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine and in Russian jails. On the final note, we regret to announce the tragic death of the Deputy Head of Presidential Administration of Ukraine, Lieutenant General in Reserve Andriy Taranov. Andriy Taranov coordinated communication between the President's office and all military and law enforcement agencies of Ukraine. He was instrumental in strengthening Ukraine's defense and enforced military cooperation with foreign partners. For almost 2 years in office, Andriy Taranov, this brave and patriotic officer, frequently visited the war zone in the east, making a significant contribution to the protection of Ukrainian independence and its territorial integrity. We express our condolences to the relatives of the deceased general. That'll be all. Thank you. I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Підгорний. Do we have any questions? We do not. Thank you for coming and looking forward to seeing you here next Monday.
Thank you.
Шановні колеги, наступна подія о 16:30.